Hi, my name is Melanie Robick, and I am currently in the process of applying to the Tulane Dietetic Internship. And I am just here today to tell you a little bit about myself and to answer the following questions for the application. So question number one is, why do you want to be a Tulane Dietetic intern? What are your expectations for the Tulane Dietetic internship? And what do you hope to obtain from the experience? So first off, I would love to be a Tulane Dietetic intern because I'm really interested in expanding my knowledge on community nutrition. I have a lot of experience working throughout my work experience in food service management and the clinical setting. I have gotten a very small amount of community nutrition in the Shellsburg School District as their intern, building a new school nutrition program for that whole school district. But I'm really interested in seeing different areas of community nutrition and also having a small emphasis on also food service management and clinical nutrition. I'm currently taking my last undergraduate class at UW-Madison, and its main focus is focusing on community nutrition. And so basically what we're doing is we're working with a food pantry, and we're coming up with innovative ways to just make their system run a little bit more smoothly. We're also doing tastings that are going to expand the nutrition knowledge of clients and get them more aware of foods that they maybe were not familiar with. And I am very, very excited about it. I think it will really expand my knowledge in the community nutrition. And next, my expectation for the Tulane Dietetic internship is to just expand my knowledge as far as experience in the field. Although I've had a lot of experience as a dietary aide or working in a restaurant, etc., I really want the opportunity to work side by side with the dietitian and really apply the knowledge that I've learned in my undergraduate career and apply it in the work setting as a role of a dietitian. Another expectation that I have for the dietetic internship is to obtain a good connection with my colleagues. One benefit of being in a small major at UW-Madison was being able to work in small groups and collaboratively work through situations and getting new ideas from my colleagues as far as different ways of seeing nutrition and whatnot. What I hope to obtain from this experience is experience. I want to be able to apply the knowledge that I learned throughout my undergrad to a professional setting. And another thing that I hope to obtain from this experience is becoming a better leader. There's been a lot of circumstances in my undergraduate career where I had to step up and be a leader. I want to further my skills with that and really emphasize that in my dietetic internship. So the second question is, why do you want to be a dietitian? Tell us where you expect to find yourself in your career after you complete an internship and in 5 years. So I want to be a dietitian because it really defines who I am. I really struggled throughout my undergraduate career to figure out where exactly I wanted to pursue as far as a career, and my parents were always kind of gearing me more into a career that was maybe not necessarily part of my interests, but that would make me more financially stable when I was older. And I would try out these majors and I would get really irritated because my interest wasn't correlated with what I was learning in my classes. And when I came to Madison, I just decided out of the blue to take a nutrition course, because I saw a connection between my hobby of fitness and nutrition, and I absolutely loved the course. And it just kind of clicked with me. So where I find myself after the internship is still exploring careers in dietetics. Through my work experience so far, I've been able to see what dietitians do in a variety of different departments of dietetics. However, after experiencing the internship, I feel like I'll have a different perspective because I'll be working directly side by side with these dietitians. So just getting further experience after my internship, exploring some of the occupations, is definitely a goal of mine after the internship is over. In 5 years, I really hope to be settling down in a career, and in a career that I love. I hope to find a career that keeps me really busy. I love going into work knowing that I have a booked schedule. In addition, I want to continue to pursue my career as a personal trainer. A couple years ago, I decided to start being a personal trainer at Anytime Fitness, and I absolutely loved it. And fitness has always been a huge passion of mine. So being able to incorporate personal training and nutrition, I really feel like I can make a huge impact with some of my clients. And finally, a recent goal of mine has been traveling and working all around the world with nutrition eventually. I want to work on getting my internship and getting a career and paying off some of my student loans. But after that, my ultimate goal is to travel the world and help anybody out in need wherever I end up with anything nutrition based. So the next question is, have you ever felt uncomfortable in a work situation? What would you do if you felt uncomfortable during an internship rotation? So having worked as many jobs as I have since high school, I feel that I've been put in 1,000,001 uncomfortable situations, and that just comes from starting a new job. It's learning things that are brand new to you and you have no idea, and there's a ton of employees looking around wondering why you don't just pick up on everything right away. But over the years, I see being uncomfortable when I start a job as more of a learning experience than a stressful experience. And as far as feeling uncomfortable with an employee or being in a specific work setting, I'm extremely fortunate that I have never felt that way. But if it ever did happen during an internship rotation, the person that I would confront would be my DI director. And I just feel like they would be the best person to approach and give me the best explanation for the situation at hand, and probably have the most resources as to how to solve the problem or move forward. So the next question is, describe how you prepare for a major exam. So it took me a really long time in my undergraduate career to figure out the best way for me to study for an exam. And the method that I've come up with in the last couple of years that's worked for me may not be super efficient, but it's what gets the job done. It's the way that I learn best. So for me, I like to take really detailed notes, either if I'm studying at home for something, or if I'm in a class setting, I like to bring my computer and take super, super detailed notes. And when I get home, I like to use all of my other resources for that particular class or that particular exam and complement all of my notes and really dig into the main idea and get all the details written down. From there, I like to study the big ideas. I try to do maybe every other night or every couple nights. And then once it gets to a week before the exam, I like to study all the details around that big main idea. And for me, I like studying in a bulk of time. In other words, I like going to the library, and once I'm there, I'm super content. So I will spend hours and hours and hours there studying, and that's what works for me. Additionally, I like to wake up in the mornings. I feel like that's when I'm most motivated. So whenever I have like a big exam or a final exam, I like to wake up super early in the morning to make sure that I have everything down, everything reviewed. And yeah, that's the way that I prepare for most of my exams. So number 5 is, describe a situation where you felt you were treated unfairly and how you handled it. So sometimes I feel that I am treated extremely unfairly by my family members. I know that they are doing it out of the kindness of their heart, and I know that they're out of the best interest for me, but I basically have a sister who's 5 years older than me. and she just got married, and she's a very successful PA, and her husband's a very successful construction engineer. And ever since I entered into this major and told my parents that I wanted to be a dietitian, my mom has done nothing but try to force me out of it because of the money factor. And passion just doesn't exceed money in her eyes. So I handle the situation by really surrounding myself around people that support my decision going into dietetics. The people that really support me are the people that are located within UW-Madison or in the Madison area that I see all the time. They can see the passion that I get from coming home from class and learning what I've learned and really applying that to my work settings. And I know eventually my mom will come around when she can see how happy I am in the occupation that I'm in. And I just think it's really important right now to gear away from the negativity and to move forward to pursue a dietetic internship and have the supportive people behind me during that time. Number 6 is, are you better at working on many things at a time, or are you better at working on and getting results on a few specific things? Please give examples. I definitely feel that I am better at working on many things at a time. I have always worked in job settings that deal with a lot of multitasking, and I really thrive off of that. I don't like to have all of my eggs in one basket. I like to really expand and really test myself to see how many different places I can learn at one time. One example is through my work experience. Right now, I am currently working at 3 different places, one as a dietary aide, 2 in a convenience store, Quick Trip, working as a cashier, unloading truck, working in the kitchen area, etc. And my other one is working at Badger Alley Bistro, which is part of the University of Wisconsin Athletic Department, and I am working with athletes as a nutrition assistant. And all of these areas are extremely different. All have extremely different job titles, and I just thrive off of it. If I work an 8-hour day, but it's split in half, I would be able to do that than work 8 hours all at one job. I know eventually I am going to probably pursue a career that has full days. However, I always hope to have multiple jobs. Like I was saying previously, I still want to pursue my career as a personal trainer. I think it's really important to have that one base career where you can receive your benefits and be full-time. But I also think it's important to also pursue some of your other interests and do that on the side. Another example is my fitness goals. I always find myself wanting to do so many different things with my fitness. I want to be good at yoga. I want to be good at weightlifting. I want to be good at running. Like I want to do half marathons, but I want to compete in weightlifting competitions. It's kind of all over the board, and sometimes it's difficult for me to sit down and pick one goal. So instead I just sometimes find it better to have a goal of just being overall fit, and I feel like it overall makes me happier in the long run. So those are just a few examples of why I think I like working on many things at a time. There's just a lot that I want to pursue. So the last question is, describe a challenge you faced in trying to work cooperatively with someone who did not share the same ideas as you. What was the result? I'm currently working at Select Specialty Hospital, where a new food service manager was hired about the same time as me. And from day one, no person in the kitchen really enjoyed the new food service manager and any of the actions that she was trying to implement into the kitchen. And as a new employee at that time, I was spending more time trying to get the job done than seeing flaws in her management skills. And after working there for about 4 or 5 months now, I have began to understand the kitchen's frustration, and I see our food service manager as being more bossy than a leader as far as managing the kitchen setting. And I've learned about a lot of these qualities in my classes, and I just wish that she would spend more time trying to understand our perspective of how the kitchen could be done instead of just incorporating her own ideas. And don't get me wrong, our food service manager has some really great ideas, but she's not she doesn't represent the entire group that's spending hours on end in the kitchen setting. So I do not agree with her in the way that she only takes her ideas into account. I believe that when there is a staff that is working in one central setting, that everybody's opinion should come into play, and everybody's opinion, if it's taken into account, should be out of interest of the whole staff and should benefit everybody. And her actions have led to a lot of people quitting the kitchen. And for me, I am still pretty new to the system, and I am just kind of letting her work her way into a more comfortable setting. I think that she just has a lot of ideas, and once she comes to her senses that many of our ideas could be really, really beneficial, she might come around, and I am going to sit and work my way through the job until she can get comfortable enough in working in the kitchen.